if you missed it, there was some drama going around with Dale Keown, the creator of Pit from the 90s, a really good artist, and surrounding ComicsGate last year. Fellow Patrick Thomas Parnell, through his group Riot Press, was going to be publishing an omnibus of the material, which is really cool. Everybody was kind of looking forward to that and working with some people around ComicsGate to do so. That got canceled really quickly. And it was a bizarre situation where it blew up. That caused Patrick Thomas Parnell to get on the outs with ComicsGate. Ethan Van Sciver went on a destroy him personally campaign. You've heard this kind of thing before. And it was really, really weird. It's like, why is this all happening? Of course, Shane Davis and John Malin joined in with them to add to the ComicsGate drama once again. So this omnibus never happened. We never got a Pit omnibus because of it. What was going down at the time? Well, DMs have dropped now showing everything that went on. Looks like Dale Keown got manipulated in a few ways. I know he likes to hit that sauce pretty hard. We've seen him collapse drunk on live streams before. This is sad where ComicsGate's gone to, but this is what a lot of these guys do. They get absolutely wasted out of their mind on live streams and cause problems. And then there seems to be some drama going on in the background where he's getting some information, maybe from Ethan or from his followers or whatever, trying to just get him into like situations where he feels like it's all cagey and the like. And so we're going to read these off today. Very bizarre on this happen, and it's just another death knell for ComicsGate that's going and circling the drain because of Ethan Van Sciver, Shane Davis's, and John Malin's bad behavior this entire way around. Now, this was supposed to be a movement for independent creators to buck the mainstream, to, of course, stop what was happening in mainstream comics. This Whisper Network behavior where they're canceling projects, causing problems for different creators, that's a hallmark of the mainstream comic book industry. It's coupled with identity politics and leftism, where they try to personally destroy you over different things. And this is exactly what Ethan Van Sciver, once he co-opted the movement, started doing to everybody else who seemed to he perceived as a threat to his funding because he stopped growing. Of course, we've seen that he's dwindled his audience now to, it looks like, around 2,500 to 3,000 people total in the ComicsGate circles. And it's circling the drain even further. It was at 10, 15,000 at its peak. It's very crazy how far it's fallen, and it's all because of this bad behavior. Now, over the last year, Ethan Van Sciver's made it a personal war to try to destroy Eric July, as Eric July has been doing what he promised he would do for a long, long time. And we've seen just like the fallout of that happening. And this is another instance of that fallout that was caused by this whole deal, where these guys, of course, the editorial here is that he says that they have Dale Keown struggling on purpose so they can keep him under their control. And this is exactly what the ComicsGate situation's become, keeping these artists from the 90s under their control so that they have their like little clout, pretending like, oh, it's Dale Keown, he's the Hulk artist who was amazing, he's on our team. So it gives them that credentialism that Marvel and DC created. It's the same credentialism that's caused problems. And so this is hurting everybody across the board. It's very, very sad, and we're going to get into the news in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button and join us here as we talk about all things comics. We're building a new movement based on comic books and real reading, guys. I've seen over the last several years that I've been watching these movements exist within Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and of course the sort of counterculture of ComicsGate, built on Marvel and DC Comics professionals, be all the same. They don't actually cultivate readers. They don't care about storytelling. They don't care about comic books, really. They just care about milking this sort of thing as these collector's items, like in a rehash of what led comics to this problem from the 90s. And so we're doing something a little different because we are working more in the webcomics realm. In webcomics, it's about reading, about storytelling, and that's exactly what we're providing here. So I've been posting Flying Sparks every single page, one page at a time, right here on a Substack to make it easy for you guys to just read the backstory and get in on this superhero universe as we build more. We're cultivating real readers. We're building enough of a catalog to where it's actually a real competition against Marvel and DC. I have 9 graphic novels in development right now. You can get this absolutely free by signing up for my Substack. So sign up for the Substack so I don't lose touch with you. This is a free speech platform. I love Substack much better than YouTube. And much better than like Indiegogo and all those. Those are terrible SJW platforms and the like. This is a good one. And so join on here, guys. Sign up so that I stay in touch with you so that you can just read comics for free. On top of this, I do have ways to support us if you want to support my channel and what we're building here and the movement of comics we're growing based on your reading, much like the webcomic model. This acts as kind of like a Patreon in a way. It's $5 a month. You get exclusive comics, extra sensories, and exclusive comic that I have for paid subscribers, and of course the commentary tracks and more. The more content and the more subscribers we get, the more we'll do. It's going to build this right here. Substack's fantastic. There's a reason people like Jonathan Hickman and the like started posting comics up on Substack over the last 3-4 years. The real talent's going here and getting away from this live stream drama crap that ComicsGate's doing, because gosh, it's just a nightmare. You can't even focus on comics if you're doing that stuff, and that's why we focus on comics here. All right, so let's look at the DMs that were dropped here, the struggling of Dale Keown here. And so this is pretty interesting. They're talking about the pre-launch of his Pit Omnibus, as I said. And this is, I believe, Patrick Thomas Parnell on the other side, going, I think maybe we are not doing Ballers. That's Shane Davis's drama stream that he does. Maybe you can go on Ethan, that's Ethan Van Sciver's channel, with Rini, that's Rini Draws, who's great too, and also got canceled by these same guys, and Launch. But someone has to ask him. He doesn't write me back often, so Ethan Van Sciver doesn't write back the smaller comic creators at this point. He focuses only on his Marvel and DC credentialism, right? So he's like, can you message him because you've got that Marvel and DC credential, right? I'm in CG. He talked me into coming over. So Dale Keown was talked into coming over to this nightmare, right? He says, I guess I simped too much. And he's talking for Mandy Summers. Dale Keown has a weird relationship with Mandy Summers where he does seem to, she runs a YouTube channel and he seems to just kind of fawn all over her. It's pretty weird. He lost respect for me, Ethan Van Sciver. So he's admitting this in DM. This is pretty honest right here by Dale Keown. He says, I don't know. And then he says, we have to get Ethan on board with the launch. Yes, and that's the thing with the ComicsGate pyramid scheme, is if Ethan's not on board, it fails, right? And everything in those circles does so. So we're a very, very lucky alternative because I cultivated my own audience away from these people where it was not just his audience buying me because Ethan told me to. In fact, I never went on a show, did nothing, and made over $100,000 in crowdfunding over the last year. And this is something that these guys don't do. It's because of our quality of storytelling, because we've been working over the years building up a real readership audience. None of these guys in the ComicsGate circles have done so. I mean, it's just really wild how much they just all leaned on this, and they get little clippings from down the stream, and that way they all put up with Ethan's bad behavior. And some of the guys on ComicsGate Kings have messaged me talking about just how bad the behavior is, how they're not comfortable with it, but they also know they can't do anything because they don't want to mess up their retirement. They're like, oh gosh, if I say something, he's going to cancel me, and then I'm going to lose all my backers because nobody actually cares about reading these books. They know the trap that they're in. A lot of them, and I'm almost certain all of the ComicsGate Kings know this at this point, outside of Shane Davis and John Malin and Ethan, who are like the ringleaders of the drama. But they're all afraid to do anything. Now, if they all banded together and did something, they might be able to, stop this. But a lot of that audience there doesn't care about comics and was never there for comics to begin with. They were buying it because Ethan told them to. And this is where these guys are all trapped at this juncture. It's really sad. Now, there's not a lot of comic book readers left, so you see these guys' campaigns are doing half what they used to, or even less in a lot of these cases. Very, very sad stuff. And I hope the better ones, the ones with the real talent, actually get out from under the thumb and get there, because you got to make the move, guys. I know you all watch this, so before it all collapses, get out of Dodge. This is a big, stark warning about Dale Keown even. He says, I thought he would offer, thinking that Ethan would offer to launch the campaign for him. And this guy says in response, I think you're fine. Just ask him about launching you this weekend, next weekend, whenever. This weekend, he says, I'll do it. So then it goes further, right? Can you ask Ethan if you could launch his channel on Saturday? He won't. There it is. I asked him for Saturday or Sunday. Okay, the book is on hold if Ethan doesn't get back to me. I'm having heart surgery. So this is Patrick Thomas Parnell, who did have heart surgery at the time. It's stressing me out. So this is a big deal. He can't be stressed out. He's got heart surgery. This makes a lot of sense. And very, very, and you can see these guys are being honest here. This is real talk of business and stuff like that. And Ethan Van Sciver's shutting this down because Ethan Van Sciver wants control over it. He passed me over on Kings. I had the link ready. I'm invisible or something, Dale Keown says. So they're trying so hard to get onto that little stream. And oh my gosh, maybe they dodged a bullet in a way, because being dependent on Ethan Van Sciver is a terrible thing, as you could see from these guys basically have Stockholm syndrome on these streams at this point. Did you ask him to launch you? Are you assuming he won't? Can you, as John? Shane and I just think our channels are too small. And that's it. And then it goes further. Later on, this is more. I effed up. Shit, can we fix this, please? Shane sent you the link. Hang on, I have to get dressed. I'm in a hole. I feel so bad, dude. So this is weird on June 17th at this point. When was these last conversations? It looks like June 13th. This is 4 days later. Don't know what happened here. Maybe alcohol causing problems with Dale. And then look at this. You called my wife a slimy, grifting whore. I'm so embarrassed for you, for me, for our community. So this guy launched on a drunken spiel and, of course, attacked the guy who's publishing him. And he's at least, this is pretty good. Dale Keown, to his credit, and we're Christian here. We're about redemption, forgiveness, and the like. Sucks that he does these things and goes off the handle like this, and I hope he gets help for doing that kind of thing. I think he's still in the same kind of rut. But you can see, he says, I feel terrible. Whitney did not deserve that. You did not deserve this. I will 100% sign your books. And this is him, afterwards regretting it. And like I said, to his credit, you don't see this a lot on the internet where people actually admit that they did wrong and the like. And this is something wild. She wants to help you, but if that's what everyone wants, we have to talk after my surgery. Everyone hates us. This is because ComicsGate was destroyed. And so what happened in this instance was the Pit Omnibus was canceled. They did it live on the air. Ethan made a drama thing about it to, of course, fuel his super chats, made Dale Keown seem like he was some victim of Patrick Thomas Parnell and the like. And it was not, and Dale was just either too weak or too drunk to do anything about it, and he just went along with it because they hype each other up in the drama thing. And so he said, Ian John Malin, not me, did a pretty good job of getting a lot of people against us, and this is what they do every single time. Ethan didn't even send me a link to explain my side of the story, so he did it off air. It was just John and Ethan assassinating you. I deserve a punch in the mouth too. I've never felt this bad my whole life. So Dale Keown admits how badly this went right here. Very tragic. And you can see, I told Shane when I quit, even the best bands break up, and this is quitting Shane Davis's deal, because, of course, Patrick Thomas Parnell's not one of the real Marvel and DC people, so he was always just a peon to them, a useful idiot, and this is what they do. They're using them to prop up their content, right? I'm going to draw a book for Ethan and lay low, because Ethan, I guess, is trying to manipulate him based on that, trying to get him to draw books for him. Mandy can find another cash cow. I'm done. So this is really interesting. Mandy was using him as a cash cow this entire time. She'll do the thing that she does. She actually thinks that she will do a book with Shane Davis. Good luck. Why would it work with a second-rate amateur, 50-50 split? Not likely. So this is kind of an admission of the Mandy Summer sort of situation where she's slapping her name on books. A lot of the books that she's put out, actually, she didn't even write. It is just a cash machine that they're using as YouTube merch, and this is ComicsGate, right? All these guys are cash machines using these as YouTube merch, not actually for the comic book industry themselves. Anybody who's a real comic book person who cares about craft, who cares about genre, notice they get broken out of the fold every single time. And it's because they don't want that stark contrast around them, right? That's why they go hard at Iconic Comics. Doug TeNapel, myself, Michael Bancroft, of course, Patrick Thomas Parnell was doing a full-on publishing company as well. Mike S. Miller. The real ones out there are all getting, of course, this kind of treatment. And Dale Keown even sees it from the background. He even feels like he's got it. It's about control. He calls Mandy Summer a skank at this point. Wow. And then later, we're getting into September. Of course she did. Around that time, I started calling her out on her BS. That's when she was cornered. Think about how effed up it is. I was doing free work for her, and she was venting about me behind my effing back. WTF. I don't know how this was happening where he was simping for her that hard. Really crazy stuff. Again, a lot of alcohol. I've heard stories of there's a lot of sex pest things going on around. I don't know who's involved with things exactly, but that a lot of it's being used as blackmail for this type of stuff as well. Patrick Thomas Parnell says, I feel for you. He says, I walked right into it still. In my opinion, you've been massively disrespected in ComicsGate. It was hard for me to see shit when it was in the fog. And this is the thing. They get everybody so puffed up when they're in the fog, they don't see it. And a lot of people don't see it. And it's a massive, massive problem going on. People never see it again. And here's more. I still have the assets, closing down the account. You can start up your own account doing it yourself. Never talk to me again. Okay, I'm just going to make a post saying the campaign is canceled for later. That money goes into my account or nothing. That's my effing deal. So you see how he got riled up by those same ComicsGate people earlier, right? And then I'm sorry it happened. I've had people, and lots of apologies here from Dale Keown. So Dale's getting riled up Of course, like I said, alcohol is a big part of this. I don't know if drugs are a part of it too, but alcohol is. I've seen it. And then then dials back and seems to get himself in a better state. And this guy really needs to get out of this whole trap and cycle because he's around these people who are, of course, enabling, causing problems. They like the problems because they can control other people. That's exactly what happens in all of these situations coming around ComicsGate. Really, really tragic situation here. You could just see this unhinged behavior going around, and it all stems from Ethan Van Sciver, Shane Davis, and John Malin trying to control the situation for their own super chat purposes because they don't care about comics, as we know. So this is more. I knew we were part of this Mandy hack. UN war campaign put her and her family in danger. We are done. And this is Dale Keown again. Dale, what are you talking about? I have nothing to do with anything. Are you hearing me? Call me ASAP. I don't hack or dox or anything. I stay out of drama. I make comics. You see, this is the trend, right? Anybody who makes comics just gets these sort of accusations thrown at them by them. I swear to God and swear to my career, I don't even talk to War Campaign. I'm too busy shipping out 400 cash grab books a day to do any gay hacking. So I guess he's shipping out those books. Very interesting, crazy stuff going on right there. And here's Kyle Ritter, who is Ethan Van Sciver's colorist. Now, there was speaking of Mandy, it was complicated between me and Mandy. In fact, Mandy tried to get me fired by reporting to Ethan about me. I guess he got a little too aggressive, saying dirty things to her in DMs, and that's part of why she got into these circles. So interesting stuff. Creepy. It's all degenerate is what it comes down to. And this was supposed to be a movement, again, for conservatives and Christians to buck the bad morality of the mainstream. I don't understand it. But we're building it, guys, and this is what's happening one step at a time, one reader at a time. Read Flying Sparks, guys. Let's get a real movement based on actual reading comic books and not this stuff anymore. This needs to be part of the past, and it needs to change, and it all ends when ComicsGate finally just stops being a thing. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon. Sign up for Substack. Honestly, that's the spot to be.